I'm Matt Weidner. Today I'm here to talk about a really serious subject that's affecting a lot of people. And this is defamation, libel, slander. How is it affecting people? Well, if you're a business owner and you're having improper fake reviews that's hurting your business, that's defamation, libel, slander. It's costing your money. We're getting kids subjected to defamation, libel, slander. This online environment that's created, a mob mentality, is subjecting the kids to defamation, libel, slander. You may be someone that's committing acts of defamation, libel, slander. You're online. You're thinking part of your persona is to go in and be wise and be witty and make commentary about things online. And in doing so, you may be committing defamation, libel, slander. So this video here is to warn people if you're on the side of making the comments, and it's also to advise people, parents, business owners, individuals that are being subjected to defamation, libel, slander. Here's what your rights are. Here's what you need to do. First thing here, what is defamation, libel, slander? Well, the important thing is it's false statements, not opinions. You've got wide berth to make opinions, but what you don't have wide berth to do in this country is to destroy people, make false statements, and increasingly that's what we're seeing, false statements. If it's spoken, it's slander. If it's written, it's libel. Those all fall into the category of defamation and slander and libel. Here Nolo gives the definition there, and then we got this other great thing from Mink Law. It gives you a little bit of idea what a lawsuit looks like. There's going to be a wave of litigation. People are going to get sued left and right over defamation, libel, slander, because people need to be reined in, and businesses are suffering, people are getting hurt, and there's real damages to be collected. So if you're a business, you're an individual, you're getting hurt, time to start thinking about litigation. So here's the next thing. In the past, when we talk about defamation, libel, slander, we're usually dealing with public figures. News, particularly traditional media, didn't want to waste their time too much with you, somebody sitting at home, a housewife or whatever else, or kid. And so most of the cases of defamation, libel, slander had to do with, public figures. And much of our case law was protective of people's right to, take pot shots at public figures. But here's a clip here from ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, that kind of lays out the basic legal framework of free speech in this country. There's a reason why the First Amendment is the first, right? And it's because in this country, we value expression. And the First Amendment worked when people were respecting social norms, but it is clear today that it is a dramatically different environment. And we'll get into that in a little bit about how this dramatically different environment is being caused, it's being fomented, it's being stoked by a variety of outside influences. But that's an important thing to understand. Number one, that public figures are held to a much higher standard than private figures. And I'm really going to be focusing on the attacks that private people are facing. The standard that was out there was New York Times versus Sullivan, and that was basically the foundation of our legal framework, but things are changing. Another thing that I want to draw your attention to is this case, Megan Thee Stallion, happening down in Miami. Of course, Florida, hotbed of all kinds of defamation, libel, slander, like we all with most litigation. But what the Megan Thee Stallion case represents is this evolution of case law, where even for public figures, the things that are happening to them, the courts are going to step in and say, no, this has got to stop. We got to rein this in. So here's a warning now to you. If you're part of this online persona, online generation, and you're out there participating in this online commentary that, again, is being stoked by a variety of sources, encouraging people to make comment, encouraging people to participate in the social media mob, I want you to be very careful, and I want you to understand that there are severe consequences, economic consequences and otherwise, for people that are engaging in the social media mob. So the big warning here is don't join the mob. And I'm not talking about the respectable mob, the mafia, those good people that, did things years ago. I'm talking about the social media mob. Increasingly, we're going to look back on our comment and understand that all that participation in the mob and putting those comments on there served no purpose whatsoever. And not only did it not serve a purpose, it served a very damaging purpose to our society. And we'll get into this a lot later, but it's becoming increasingly clear that this mob engagement that we're in, the social media mob attacking one another and fighting, is being fomented and stoked by foreign sources. And so as you think about making commentary and getting engaged in the social media mob, calling somebody this, calling somebody that, responding back to these comments and posts, I want you to understand that you are being exploited. You are being called in to engage in this, and that's something very important to think about. EFF, Electronic Frontier Foundation, talks about defamation and online speech. Again, another really important link to click on to understand what these issues are, understand how you play a part in that. And then Pew Research has this concept of social media and trust, but I got to tell you, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's something much more malevolent going on right now that even these articles don't touch on. And we'll get into that in subsequent posts. But the one thing that I want you to focus on is a case that got national attention, comes right out of the Tampa Bay area. It's called Ing. And in the Ing case, talks about how there was this Yelp reviewer. She goes on and starts making some comments. The owner of the restaurant didn't like it and had real problems with it. And so that litigation ensued. Interestingly enough, it wasn't the initial post that was really so bad. It was what happened after that in the comments. And that's what we're really going to be focused on in a lot of these subsequent posts, because it's not the initial review of your business necessarily. It's in many ways your ability to remove that. It's not the initial review that you did, which might have been okay. It's the people that come in there afterwards that stoke all this conflict. That's the new frontier in defamation and slander. So I said I was going to give victims of defamation and slander some advice right here. And I want you to pay attention to Florida Statute 770.01. I'm a Florida lawyer. I only practice in Florida. Very specific rules about how you protect yourself when you become the victim of defamation, libel, slander. First of all, you capture all of that evidence. And then number two, you could produce this letter. If you ultimately end up hiring a lawyer, that letter is a prerequisite. There's some technical boxes you need to check to make sure it's correct about how the publisher gets it and then what they have to do afterwards. But if you decide you're going to hire an attorney, there's no reason why you shouldn't just send this letter out right now and get the process started. But critical, most important thing, learn how to take screenshots, capture the information out there that's false and that is defamatory. If you think you're a victim, if you're being subjected to it right now, get those defamation things out there. I've got a website here, defamation.firm.com. Look in it. It's got some more information. Importantly, if you want to be analyzed to determine whether you got a good case, upload those PDF documents. That's the way we do intake on these things. We can answer your questions, engage in some back and forth with you on there. But the foundation of all of this is give us the receipts, give us the details. Let us see what you're going through. Let us examine whether or not this is a case that might be worth pursuing.